I'm Counselor Fox. I'm a family and trauma counselor, and I am founder of Fox Adoption and Counseling LLC. I'm also the developer of a PTSD, stress, and anxiety therapy called Remm. That acronym is REMM, and it stands for Replacement Experience Memory Method. Together with former U.S. Army Specialist and Cav Scout McLean, we put together the military and first responder edition specifically so that those of you with invisible injuries, whether it be military, police, fire, first responder, military family spouse, caregiver, injured caregiver, all of those are invited to come together and find healing in your stress, your anxiety, and your PTSD. So in this video, we're going to be talking about change. Change is something that is constant. One of the pet phrases I have is the only thing permanent is change. Now, other than God existing and God's love, that's permanent. But everything else is up for change. So along with the experiences that you have normally that cause minimal change, along comes trauma, major trauma, and it causes an injury, which forces change. Okay? So when we experience trauma in intense events, just once or repeatedly, our memory is crystallized. It's a crystallized process. This immediate and unexpected entrance of a traumatic experience actually disrupts the normal reaction mode and turns on our defense mechanism or our survival mode, the fight or flight mechanism that takes place in your brain, thus unleashing all the needed mental and chemical components to cope with it in real time, serotonin, etc. So as fast as an IED happens or a VBIED, vehicle-borne improvised explosive device, goes off, your mind is altered instantly in a major jolt. Okay. Now, whether your cortex ends up slamming against the inside of your skull, which there's a big long technical name for that, whether it is the pounding of the sound or the vibration of the explosion that basically enters your eardrum and rattles your brain, or whether it is such a traumatic sight and sound that you simply can't get the visual memory out of your brain. Okay, all of those come under basically the same category, but especially when your brain ends up slamming against the inside of your skull as a result of something hitting your helmet or hitting your gear, hitting your headgear, or dropping on your head, or being slammed into the side of inside of a Humvee, okay, or a tank. It's just going to be an injury that you're going to have to recover from and change as a result of. War and battling like fire and battling gangs, everything to do with battling the enemy, is very, very intrusive on our conscious. When we desire peace and we desire calm and we desire joy, we all of a sudden find ourselves in a situation where we're right in the center of trauma. Injury in this term we should use with PTSD, not change. I don't want you to say I'm changed. I want you to say I've been injured and I'm changing, because you have to change from that injury. It's whether we do or don't change from that injury is what separates us. A lot of us become injured and we completely fall into a state of apathy, a state of reclusiveness, of avoidance, of being withdrawn, hiding from responsibilities, hiding from social events, hiding from loved ones. But when we change, we grow. Okay, we grow in many ways. Most of all, how we handle things cognitively, mentally, we begin to change in a very positive way. So when change happens externally, okay, we adapt to it. We overcome it. We do what it takes in order to make things happen, just like if a trained Marine. The training automatically kicks in and you make things happen. How change affects us is a reflection of our training. So if you haven't been trained how to adapt to your injury, in other words, Specialist McLean sat me down one day and he says, look, there's 8 weeks of boot camp, the 8 weeks of basic, 8 weeks of, initial training in whatever, developmental phase you're going to be in. Then there's 8 more weeks of being with your unit and training for that. And then sometimes there's even 8 more weeks of, special op or a special unit or whatever, right? Well, when you're released back into integration as a military member, there's sometimes 2 to 3 days. That's it. Not 8 weeks. There's no real training to take you from your hypervigilance, hyper trauma, hyper extended mental and physical capability to a point where you've been reduced to calm, no war, no fight, no external trauma coming your way on an expected basis. You're back home, maybe you're back to work, maybe you've been injured and you're back in a hospital for a while. Okay, that change takes place wherever you are after you've been injured. And unfortunately, you can change in both directions. You can change negatively, become more pessimistic and more negative, and then more positive and better outcome. So there's some good change verbs, okay, that I want you to keep in mind just for this short video. Mobilize, monitor, neutralize, and observe. So I'll give you an example of a sentence, okay? I'm going to observe and override my stress alarm system. I will implement and mobilize new strategies. Or I'll maintain and monitor control and work through my issues to neutralize them one by one, just as you would if you were trained to do your job in the military or as a firefighter or policeman, EMT, etc. So I know you heard those change words in there, and when you say them out loud, write them and read them and acknowledge them or communicate them with somebody else, okay? Then those things become part of your reality. If instead you say, yeah, I'm not up for change, I'm just going to sit on the couch today, then that will be your reality. For more information, please go to my website. It's remmworks.webs.com. You can follow me on Twitter at remmworks. Send me an email at remmworks42@gmail.com, or you can like me on Facebook page /remmworks. So take care, God bless, and I'll see you on the next video.